I am Brenda Jordan, and I'm so happy to be here tonight. Welcome to all of you who have joined us in person or online with Zoom, Facebook Live, or YouTube Live. If you are one of our live streamers, please go to the chat and tell us where you are streaming from. For those of you who are here in person, please take this moment to silence your cell phones. Thank you. We begin our Wednesday evening service with a pre-service meditation. So I invite you to get still and close your eyes. Allow yourself to simply notice your breathing and to be present in this space. If your mind wanders, simply bring it back to this mantra: God's the love that I am. I will bring us out of the meditation in 10 minutes. Thank you. And so as our meditation comes to a close, gently bring your awareness back into your surroundings, into your bodies, and as you feel ready, open your eyes. Welcome to those of you who have joined us while our meditation was in progress. We are so glad to have you with us in person and virtually.
Let's all sing our opening chant, I Am Open, led by the wonderful Mary Highland. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive the God in you and me. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive the God in you and me.
Then we sing it to each other. You are open.
You are open, you are open, you are open to receive the God in you and me. You are open, you are open, you are open to receive the God in you and me. Oh.
And then we are open because we're a community.
Yes, we are. We are open.
Yeah,
We are open.
are.
We are open to receive the God in you and me. We are open. We are open.
Oh, yeah.
We are open to receive the God in you and me. The God in you and me. The God in you and me.
Big finish.
The God in you and me.
Give yourselves a hand. That was
Yay.
pretty good.
Okay. Let's join together in prayer. Turning within. I recognize that there is one source, one mind. It is the mind of God. There is one life, one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence, and it is God. I know that God is the creator of all life everywhere and the entire universe. God created it, everything out of its infinite intelligence and infinite love. And I know that God is all good, to which there is no opposite. I know I am an emanation of God. We are each children of God, made in the image and likeness of God. And so we are one with that one mind of God. There is no separation. We can never be separate from our source, from our God. And so I am so grateful for this service tonight. I know that it is a blessing, that something wonderful is happening tonight, that we are joined together in that one mind of God, in love, in grace, in joy, and in community. And so I am just so grateful for this time tonight. I am filled with gratitude for the service, for our beloved Reverend Sydney, who speaks her word tonight with joy and peace and love and fun. And I know that we are all blessed by being here tonight. And so I'm just filled with gratitude, and I release my word into the law of mind, knowing it is already so, it is already done, and together we say, Amen. Please join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
I would like to dedicate this song to our beloved Sam on his last Wednesday night here. I was blue, just as blue as I could be. Every day was a cloudy day for me. Then my good thoughts came knocking at my door. Skies were gray, but they're not gray anymore. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds all day long. I never saw the sun shining so bright. Never thought things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Never saw the sun shining so bright. Never saw things looking so right. Noticing the days just hurrying by. When you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone now. Nothing but blue skies. Nothing but deep blue, blue, clear blue skies. Blue, 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 blue skies. I'm loving those blue skies. Sam's loving those blue skies. Nothing but blue skies. Blue skies from now on.
Well, that was fun. Thank you so much. Okay. Blue skies. Hey, so my topic tonight is it's all a setup. It's just all a setup. Now, not in the lexicon of a recent campaign where you heard that line. No, this is the divine setup. This is the spiritual setup. Because I got to tell you, if you haven't realized it yet, you are God. And if you don't know it, I will remind you every chance I get. I will constantly remind you. To distraction, you're going to want to slap me. But I see you all as God. You are God. You are here as the divine. Oh my God. So as I was working on this talk, I was really thinking about, who do we all think we are? Who and what do we think we are? And who and what do we think God is? Because if we have not connected the dots between who we think we are and who we think God is, then we're missing a really, really grand opportunity to check out our own belief system and then make it stronger. So, going from the instant answer, the ego part where you say, who am I? Well, I'm this. I'm a minister. I do this, or I have a husband, or I'm a retired person, or I'm a pianist, or I'm a singer, or I'm whatever it is that you define yourself as on the earthly plane. You're not that. You're not that. And yet we look at all the earthly evidence. We look at all the stuff out here, the superficial, and we decide that that's what is defining us. We decide that that is what is defining us, not often enough stopping, okay, well, we're going to repair the syntax on that sentence later, but not stopping often enough to say, well, wait a minute, what is the truth about me? What is the real truth about me? And then telling that divine truth, living as that divine truth, and recognizing that who and what we think ourselves to be, who we are, has an absolute, direct, undeniable connection with who and what we think God is. So if we are thinking that God is a power outside of us, a presence outside of us, a personality outside of us, then I promise you we will have issues of ego and separation and discontent and frustration. One of my favorite quotes is from Richard Rohr, who is a Jesuit priest, I believe. And I love this. In one of his books, he writes, "Your image of God creates you." Your image of God creates you. It is that intimate. It is that absolutely intimate. So Wayne Dyer is one of the guys that I really, really like. And in his book, The Power of Intention, he talks about getting to really get to an understanding of yourself as not just adjacent to God. You know, most of us go through lives thinking that we're God adjacent, and we don't really interrogate that to find out, do we really think we are in God or next to God? Even if we've done a lot of work in that realm of, I am one with God, I am one with God, I am one with God, not really recognizing what that means, to live from that, to live as that. So he wrote this: "You did not originate from a material particle as you've been led to believe. Your conception at the moment of your parents' blissful commingling was not your beginning. You had no beginning. That particle emanated from the universal energy field of intention, as do all particles. You're a piece of that universal mind of creation, and you must see God inside of you and view yourself as a divine creation in order to access the power of intention in your life." Now, what does that mean? That the more that we see ourselves as part of the divine, the more our lives unfold as part of the divine. As we believe, it absolutely is done unto us. So to the degree that we recognize that every part of this emotional, physical, spiritual body is an expression of the divine, muffins and all, yes, that to the degree that we recognize that, accept it, cherish it, praise it, and are grateful for it, honor it, and live and move in an awareness of our own divinity, to that degree, our lives unfold in celebration, in glory, even in the midst of challenges, even in the midst of loss, of income issues, of whatever it is, even in the midst of all that, because what we seek to do is to find that center of peace and live outward, as opposed to finding something out here that we think we're going to anchor to and then living inward, right? So Wayne wrote, you know, Wayne, he and I were like this, you know, yeah, this is me over here. By the way, if you are, I like to say, love streaming this from wherever you are, feel free to write in the chat some of your impressions about this and discuss it, because I like the idea of everyone connecting and really kind of getting into maybe an online discussion about where you are in your understanding of yourself as a divine being. Because a lot of us just do not really have it. And I think I know we all have to have it. So anyway, Wayne, my buddy, you are a piece of God. You are a living, breathing creation that emanated from the universal mind of the all-creating source. You and God are the same thing. I didn't get struck by lightning when I said that. Did you notice? Very simply put, when you love and trust yourself, you're loving and trusting the wisdom that created you. And when you fail to love and trust yourself, you're denying that infinite wisdom in favor of your own ego. It's important here to remember that at every single moment of your life, you have the choice to either be a host to God or a hostage to your ego. That's fun, huh? A host to God or a hostage to your ego. So, you know, when you start looking at an idea, then you start drawing things toward you, to you that will help support the idea that are going to be part of it. And my process when I'm working on my talks is I will kind of rest with an idea for a week or two, and I might gather from wisdom texts like the Quran or the Torah or the Bible, and I will find these things. And today, Course in Miracles popped up. And this was really good, because it says here, remember that the Course in Miracles teaches that there is a self with a little s and a self with a capital S. Is this familiar? The self with the little s is the ego self, and the Course in Miracles says that the ego speaks first and the ego speaks loudest. We're always getting our evidence of wrongdoing from the ego, right? And it leads us time and time again to pain and suffering. That's where we draw in that information that says, oh, God, I just can't do this right, or I can't believe I did that again, or I was so stupid, or I thought it would work out. My best laid plans fell by the wayside. It's all of that stuff, right, that brings us down. There's another way of living, a better way. I'm not going, and this was actually an interpretation written by a friend of mine who's a minister in Atlanta, and his name is John Carn. And he wrote, I'm not going to venture into this situation without first asking my higher self, that capital S, the Holy Spirit, that which is the truth of my being, how do I interpret this situation, this thing that's going on? I want to see the love in everyone. How often do we actually step into that realm of the ego or step in front of it and say, I want to see the love in everyone? Because you know what, frankly, most of us want to see the faults in everyone, or at least a few. I mean, don't you want to just see a few little chinks in their armor? Come on. But then, you know, if we can let that higher self be the one that says, I want to see the love in everyone. I want to see the loving purpose of the situation. And that's it right there. It is that willingness. And it is perhaps the most powerful prayer I've ever been able to say, which is even despite my willingness in a situation, if I can say, I am willing to see this differently. I am willing to see this from a higher perspective. I am willing to feel differently. And you know, there are times that I am so clear that I am justified in my anger or my righteous indignation, whatever it is, that for me to try to shift over to the place of being willing to feel differently, it takes some work. Because you know what happens? We get energized by thinking we're right. Yeah, anybody? We get energized by it. And it's very easy to mistake that energy for inspiration. It's not, and here's the difference. And some of you who've taken my classes, you've probably heard me say this. Okay. Being charged up and energized like that is not inspiration, it's adrenaline. Inspiration opens you up. It opens you up. Adrenaline tightens your throat. It tightens your body. It tightens everything. Your blood pressure goes up. Everything shifts into fight or flight. But when we are inspired, when we are open, when we are available to that highest idea, the expression of God as us, that perfect plan within us, that prototype, the blueprint, everything relaxes. Our hearts begin to find their own rhythm. Our souls open up, our throats open up, and our inspiration begins to flow. The ideas begin to flow, the creative expression. If we can ask, like, I want to know how I fit into this situation. If I ask, I know I will be heard and it will not go unanswered. The higher self answer is the one I want, even when I think I don't. I have sabotaged myself enough. I have lived enough to know better. I have undermined myself enough. I have hurt others enough. I know that the higher self, capital S, is the voice I want to hear. And don't we really want that? Don't we really want that? We want that sense of peace. So now, what does this have to do with this idea of it's all a setup? When we are clear that our alignment is in God, and that we ask ourselves, how do I vibrate at the level of the divine? How do I do that? How do I actually move into a place where I'm available and knowing myself as divine and thinking creatively and expressively and from a place of high and holy understanding? When we begin to ask that question, then we actually become the high and holy expression that we are supposed to be, that we are meant to be. We are here to be fulfilled. We are here to be expressing. This idea is that it's not that we want the power of God, we want that power to flow through us. It's not that we want the omnipotence of God, the omniscience of God. It's that we want it to flow through us. We want it to flow through us so that we can come back to who we are. Because it's in that who we are that, once again, that divine knowing, that remembering to remember that we actually move back into a place of peace where, as we speak our word for what we want, and we're doing it from a place of peace and knowing that we absolutely are the wholeness of God in expression. As we speak that, it begins to demonstrate in our lives. Now, we all know the idea that that which we pay attention to is what begins to show up. Your energy flows where your attention goes is one of the things that we hear so much. And it's really, really easy to attend to the stuff that's not working, to pay attention to it. And so I was hanging out with Emma Curtis Hopkins and Ernest Holmes yesterday. I was drinking coffee with them. And Emma had a lot to say. And I thought, well, okay, I really want to reconnect with Emma because she and I haven't talked in a while. And I know that Dr. Mark is going to be doing the second half of his class on Emma starting on Monday. And so this one is the one that actually caused me to almost drop my coffee mug, almost. It takes a lot to separate me from my coffee. I may have oneness issues with God, but I got to tell you, I am always one with the coffee. And she wrote, a mistaken idea about God and your own life will break out somewhere. Clunk. Right? Around us and before us in the plain sight of our mind, our spirit and our soul is our perfect power, ready to rise to accomplish the works of God. Now, if the word God gives you a bit of a, one of those things, like, depending on how you were raised, and God was like, for you. G-O-D, glorious, organized design. Yeah? Or good originating design. Go somewhere like that. Or just call it Fred, because really, you don't need to have the energy attached to the infinite source of your being. You don't need that charge. You don't want to be triggered by that idea of God. So come up with something else. Spirit, infinite mind, intelligence, goddess, whatever it is. A few weeks ago, we talked about this on a Sunday. What was it? Great universal spirit, Gus? Call it Gus. Oh, I am one with Gus. So she writes, spirit or divine intelligence has one way of looking at the universe and all things in it. That way is to know the good only. There is nothing else to intelligence. That's capital I, intelligence, to know the good only. So when we are knowing that which is not the good only, that's when we begin to give that energy, that attention, and that creative power, whether we think we are or not, to that stuff we actually don't want. Now, I'm not saying to be afraid of your mind, although some people I know probably should, but to honor and acknowledge the stuff that you're thinking about so that you don't have to fight it, you don't have to resist it. Agree with thine adversary quickly, which means simply to go, oh, that's going on in there, interesting, set it aside, rather than fight it or deny it, but to look at the truth and to recognize that there is good here, that there is one power, one presence. Moses said that the acknowledgement of the right and true God would be like a wind moving across the face of the waters for the light to break over. Waters are symbolic or the metaphysical for conscious thoughts. That's what she says. I've read other Jungian things that talk about water as being the nature of emotion. And often that real dramatic emotion, right? The feeling that can distract you from the good. But let's go with that for a while. So we're going to call waters our thinking mind. If we have occupied our thinking, again, this is Emma, if we have occupied our thinking mind with what we shall eat, drink, wear, and such subjects, we are in a dark state of mind. It is the Egyptian darkness. The metaphysical reason, or the metaphysical meaning of Egypt is that darkness. It is that separation from God. It is that material world where we are out of alignment with the infinite source of our being. Egypt is that darkness. Egypt is the pain and suffering of separation. So, Moses led his people into what he called that promised land. And the idea of Moses represents for us the wisdom that we seek. And so that wise part of us looks and seeks the higher wisdom, the greater wisdom, moving from the material into the spiritual. Now, he really should have gotten Siri because he spent like 40 years wandering the wilderness. It's that man thing, right? No, they're not going to stop and ask for directions. But here's the thing, and this is also just because I said it, 40, the number 40 metaphysically represents the idea it takes as long as it takes. It actually doesn't have to be the number, an actual 40 years, 40 days, 40 nights. But you'll see all through the Bible, Noah was out in his boat with a bunch of animals. Again, you heard my talk about that a few weeks ago. Noah, what were you thinking? But for 40 nights, 40 days, 40 nights. And it means as long as it takes for us to recognize our divinity, as long as it takes. Jesus went into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights to contemplate his oneness and grew in his awareness of himself as a creation of spirit. And Jesus, for all of us, represents the truth of our being. Jesus, the Christ, meaning the anointed, the wisdom, that light within us, not the guy, but that light within us, as long as it takes to come back to a sense of unification, of knowing who we are, of knowing ourselves as Spirit knows us, as wonderful, as beloved, as perfect. I heard a talk years ago, and I want to share some ideas from it. It was from my teacher, Reverend Helen Street, and she was at the Glendale Church, and some of you remember her. And she gave a talk at a Sillamar, and she said, everything you need to know about life and about the Bible, everything you need to know is on the first page. It's on the very first page. And that's that in the beginning, God. Well, that's the first idea right there. In the beginning, God. We go to God. We go to the truth. We go within. We go to that place of peace, that place of wisdom. And even if we don't want to, that thing knocking at your head, right? That idea that says, come on, come to me, my darling. I'm here to bless you. We go to God. Created the heavens and the earth. Well, we are both. We are all of that. We are the wisdom, the divine. We are the heaven and the earth woven together. We are that. We are that. We are that. And then other stuff happened, light and darkness, blah, 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 the whole thing, but also created animals. Now, this is fun because God said to Adam, and Adam represents us in our unawakened state, by the way. God said to Adam, you name them. name them, and then claim their qualities. Claim what they are. So you name it and you claim it. Now, for all of us, that is what we are here to do spiritually. That is our alignment with the divine. We name it, and then we claim it. So are we going to name that experience we want, or maybe even the experience we're having, as beautiful, wonderful, and unfolding experience, expression, and an opportunity to go deeper, and then claim all of the stuff that goes along with that, the inspiration, the growth, the wholeness that is revealed? Are we going to name it and claim it? Or are we going to name it and say, this is bad, this is wrong, this person over here is bad, is wrong, and then claim, begin to claim, well, I know that's going on, I know that this person is wrong, and I see evil here, or I see bad here, I see crime there, I see all of that. We are here to name it and to claim it. Does that make sense? Okay, we want to name it and claim it. So what are we going to name? What is it that we want to name? Do we want to name good and claim it, or do we want to name fear and claim it? She says, we name our good. We keep on naming our good. We say our good is love. And then she had this wonderful thing, all from that same book that Dr. Mark's going to be using, Scientific Christian Mental Practice. We do not mean the selfish clutch, what a great word, of some human being upon our time or attention, our body or our thoughts. We do not mean the clutch we sometimes feel upon the time and attention of another human being. We don't mean the clutch. In other words, we don't mean that grabby, oh my God, I have to have this, I have to have it, I'm just going to clutch it forever, that we feel toward money, toward food, toward home, animals, or friends. No, we mean the free, fine life of delight that streams with kindness and mercy and gentleness, and embracing beauty through the universe, draws with its irresistible kindness all things and all people to love it and to feel its love. And she writes, if we feel there is a work to do, this one's going to get you, if we feel there is a work to do, we may be certain that we are the very ones to do it. We see that, and again, these are her words, not mine. We see that crime increases and we want it cured. We say so. We name it, we claim it. That very speech or thought is the signal for us to cure the crime of the world and the thoughts of our own mind. There is an elixir in the words of truth. Keep them going continually. They will change your entire life and change your powers. You are a miracle worker by inherent right. Did anybody tell you that when you were growing up? Not so often, right? But you are a miracle worker by your inherent right. Give your soul the chance to do all your thinking and all your speaking. Whoa, what a great idea. To let that wisdom speak for me, to let that heart, that kindness. As we move into Wednesday night services, we're going to be doing some shifting starting next week, and we are calling this service the Heart of Healing. So do we let that heart of healing, the truth of who we are, guide us, be revealed in us, as us, for the joy that we are seeking? Because you know, whatever that thing is that we're seeking, it's seeking us. Even more so, that thing that you and I are seeking, the fact that we have a draw toward it, we have a pull toward it, is that it is calling us to reveal and to know it's already fully present within us, ready to be celebrated, ready to be expressed, ready to be created out in the world, but only to the degree that we know that it is true already. And then she says, you know, so this is how I interpret this. We protect ourselves from a lot of stuff that we think might happen. What if, right? We have a lot of what ifs in our world. What if, what if, what if, what if? And she says, you must not put umbrellas against things which do not exist. Umbrellas are a burden in pleasant weather. So do we have an umbrella up that we think is going to have to protect us from, you know, the symbolic rain in life, the rain of grief or the economy or whatever it is? Are we putting up our umbrella, not remembering that from within, we are absolutely the truth about all life? We are God. We are God. So how do we vibrate at the level of our own divinity? What is that which impels and will align us with spiritual law and the creative force of the universe itself, particularly in those times when we have forgotten? We have forgotten, we've gotten pulled off our center, we've gotten taken out by the events of the world, and it's easy to do. I'm right there with you. So what is it that we do to bring ourselves back? Well, I'm going to say the first thing is gratitude. Even in the midst of whatever is going on, gratitude is still present and can be accessed, can be expressed. Express a thing, though you feel it not, said Shakespeare. Praise. We can praise. I remember years ago, you'll appreciate this one, and you'll appreciate this one. I was doing a show, and the conductor was the absolute worst conductor ever. I mean, he was like a monkey with a wristwatch. It was just absolutely awful. And I remember thinking, because I was so miserable sitting in the pit of this show, it was a touring Broadway show, of all things, of Jesus Christ Superstar. And I remember thinking, man, I'm going to kill myself with all of this anger and this resentment and bitterness. And I thought, I've got to find one thing to praise. I've got to find something, anything, so that I stop this, right? So I just stopped this. So I remember sitting there one night going, okay, what am I going to find? Yeah, his conducting really sucks. What am I going to find? What am I going to find? And then I went, oh, his shoes are always clean. That's how far I had to go to find something to praise. His shoes were always clean. And I really didn't even want to admit that. So are we willing to do what we have to do to raise our vibration to the level of our true identity? Belief. There's another one. Belief. Are we willing to believe and to strengthen that belief with the things that we do, the things that we say, the people that we're with, to find those ways that we can look for evidence? We can look for evidence. Maybe it will be just that one thing, clean shoes. But are we willing to believe that there is a power for good in the universe and that we can use it, as Ernest Holmes said? And then finally, remember what I said a few weeks ago about Charles Fillmore's definition of faith, which is so powerful. Faith is this word that I think we don't quite understand, but here it is. Faith is the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. Faith is the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. So you and I are one with the infinite mind, and our perceptions, our ability to perceive that God is all there is. The more we do that, the more we practice it, we begin to shape that substance, because there is no difference between the source and the substance. There is no difference. There is no difference between source and substance. Get that. God is source. God is substance. God is source. God is the source of our love, of our life, of all that is seen and unseen. And everything that we see is God in form. We have the perceiving power to shape substance. Isn't that amazing? So this week, as you move through your life, I want you just to remember that this is all a setup. We have everything we need to simply name our good and to claim our good. Because that which is flowing through us and living as us, that's what it wants to do. It has no other agenda. You know, God doesn't get extra karmic points for denying us good. It just doesn't work that way. All God wants to do is just express, to celebrate with love and possibility. I want you to name your good and claim your good, because you are here as divine beings. You are creations of spirit, and that innate perfection within you is calling your name. Will you say yes? Yes. And so it is. Thank you. All right, let's pray. Thank you. So we turn within once again, recognizing that we are here as God's celebration of itself, and that we have that perceiving power to know that we are one with the infinite mind, the infinite wisdom, the infinite heart, the love, and that which we decide to name and claim is good. So we name love and we claim love. We name this life love and we claim this love. We name this life wholeness and we claim our participation and expression as that wholeness. So I know for each of us that we choose now to experience and to feel that wholeness as it resonates and demonstrates throughout this world of effect. So if there's someone in your family or a friend or someone you care about who is on your mind, is on your heart, I invite you to just, surround them with the knowing that you are naming for them wholeness and you are claiming for them wholeness. And through that one mind of which we are all living and moving and having our beingness, that they are here and now celebrating and expressing oneness. This is a teaching of here and now. This is a teaching of the here and the now. And knowing that all the power in the universe is present and active and available in this moment, we also name and we claim that peace is that power at the heart of God. So we know that peace is moving through Russia, through Ukraine. Peace is moving through downtown Los Angeles. Peace is moving through this entire world. We name it and we claim it now. And we do the work within ourselves to say that I am a place of peace. I choose peace and I claim to celebrate peace and to be that peace as I move into the world. I know that for each of us. And I know that we are a blessing. We are blessed by this knowing, and we are continually blessed as we name and claim that right where we are, God is, and all is well. All is well. All is exceedingly well because of that one power and presence, source and substance, which is the truth of who and what we are. So I bless this church. I bless all churches, all paths to God, all mosques, temples, synagogues, ashrams, all of them. Wherever people gather, I know that there is a light that is shining, and it is the light of love, the light of life. And in our observation and our noticing, our acknowledgement, our speaking of it, that light shines brighter. So for each of us, I see us all feeling, such gratitude for knowing the truth. That we have this power to know the truth, to speak the truth, to claim the truth, and how wonderful to know that we are the light of God in every area of life. And we are so blessed, so blessed, so blessed. So I release this word into spiritual law, knowing it is so. And together we say, Amen.
Struggle, no more strife.
So now is the time when we invite you to share your tithes, your gifts, your love offerings, and there's a wonderful box right out there in the foyer that you can place them in, and there are also instructions that our beautiful Brenda, Carol Merrill over here. Anybody remember game shows? Oh my God, I am dating myself. Anyway. She will tell you all the ways that you can share those gifts. But we have an affirmative statement. So I invite you to take that gift, to hold it in your hand and place it against your heart and to say with me, from the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. So I'm going to say that as we're about to do Bless It Always, that this gentleman over here has been blessing us always. So we want you to go home feeling blessed. Yes. And I'm told that we have cheesecake, which I understand you like cheesecake.
I do indeed. Yes.
Okay. Sam, we are so grateful to you. We are so grateful for everything that you do here, and I'm so glad that you're still here on Sunday. And Wednesdays are just, I mean, you have welcomed me as I came back, 2.5, whatever it was, years ago, and helped me so much. And we are all so grateful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. What is the best part, or what is the most significant memory you have from some of these services?
Wow.
I know, you didn't know I was going to interview you.
There's so many memories. Most of them revolve around, well, look at, not only am I playing these services, I'm a member of the church, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So to be here so often,
Yeah.
and to hear you and Reverend Mark over these last 18, 19 years, I think.
Yikes, yeah.
So I don't know if I have one significant memory, but because it all comes flooding to me,
Yeah.
but it's been how it's uplifted and improved my life.
Mm-hmm.
How the soloists that I've had a chance to play with, they're
I
all
know.
gifted, wonderful people,
Yep.
Musicians as well as human beings, so that's uplifted me. So it's with bittersweet feelings
Yeah.
that this is my last service, but I'm not going anywhere. I'll be
I know.
around. I'll be here on Sundays. And,
Well, and we expect a full report about Wednesday night television once you've been off for a few weeks.
Hopefully I'll have something better to report than television, but we'll see.
All right.
Can we do Bless It Always?
Well, why don't we go ahead and have announcements, and then we'll sing it at the end.
Oh, that's fine. We'll skip this version of it. We'll do the other one. You got
Okay.
it. Perfect.
Okay, so come on up. And while Brenda's making her way, I also want to just acknowledge some people. Mary Catherine O'Hart has been sitting over here, not sleeping, but holding the high watch for all of us. Our Zoom support tonight was Mark Kroll and Robin Wolford, and they have been doing Zoom and hosting and responding to comments from people, and they are wonderful. Our lights and sound, Adam Keshen, thank you. He chooses these wonderful images every week, and they're so much fun. Our greeter and usher was Julie Daniels. We love you. Our sanctuary media team was Doreen Remo, Nikki Savara, Colleen Wilson, and I'm reading Blair Thompson, but I don't think Blair is here, but we just know that he does it anyway. Mary Hyland, you are a goddess. Sam Krieger, yeah, we did that. And by the way, so next week we have a wonderful pianist who's going to be stepping in, and she's a friend of mine. She's a badass musician. I need you to know this. So Karen Hammock, stand up real quick. We go back a long way. Yes. Pulpit support tonight was Brenda Jordan, who is a practitioner. I'm the minister, I'm Sydney, and thanks to all of us who joined us in person or virtually. Give us some information now. Give us announcements.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, announcements. You can make donations to our church through our text to give number, QR code, which is in the brochure, or through our website, nhcrs.org/give. Prayer with a practitioner is available after service, in person, and on Zoom. Every Sunday morning at 9:45, our church is open to kids from toddler to teen and in between, and they are thriving. Wednesday night healing service with Reverend Steen. Meditation is at 6:50. The service is at 7. And Reverend Sidney's topic next week is all. Sounds good. Be sure to join us this Sunday, June 4th, for our 70th anniversary celebration. Oh my God, 70 years. Join us for a very special service at 9:45 and 11:30 as we honor our beloved church for shining the light of oneness for 70 years. There will be special guests and, most importantly, cake on the patio following services. We'll see you there. Women's group. This group will meet at 1 p.m. in the youth church and on Zoom this Sunday. Our special guest speaker will be chaplain and practitioner Lynn Romanowski. Yay. Scientific Christian Mental Practice Class Part 2 with Dr. Mark Vieira. Don't worry if you didn't take Part 1. Dr. Mark will catch you up in the first evening. Join Dr. Mark for this life-changing 7-week class beginning Monday, June 5th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Zoom only. This class will help you establish a foundation for healing and wholeness in every area of your life. Sign up online or Sunday on the patio. Mark your calendars for Sunday, June 11th. Bring a Friend Sunday with pancake breakfast and service ministries fair. Our practitioners and service ministry leaders will be on the patio with information and opportunities to join and or support our wonderful service ministries. And there will be pancakes. Don't miss out and bring a friend or two. We love food. The Creative Arts Ministry presents God's Open Mic Night, Sacred Passages, Friday, June 16th from 7 to 9 p.m. in the sanctuary. The suggested donation is $10. But we accept much more. The event that launched the 2023 Creative Arts Ministry returns in June. Performers will be given 5 minutes to share a sacred passage representing their experience of good God. To participate, sign up on the patio or contact Mark Kroll at mkroll@aol.com. Zoom virtual patio before and after Sunday and Wednesday service. Zoom meditation is every morning, Monday through Saturday, from 7:55 to 8:15 a.m. Visit our website, nhcrs.org, to obtain Zoom links and more info about all of our events and to sign up for weekly e-blasts and monthly newsletters. Thank you.
You are so good.
Thank you.
And so, by the way, I just want to say about that class that Dr. Mark is teaching, all of those Emma Curtis Hopkins quotes that you heard tonight came from that book, Scientific Christian Mental Practice. So if you were inspired that and you want to know more, oh my goodness, if you have not taken a class with Dr. Mark where he's teaching Emma, I really, really want to invite you to do that. You can sign up online. You can do it on Sunday in the patio. It's a Zoom class. You can stay at home and you can sip your tea and learn all about this amazing, amazing teaching. So I hope that you will do it. I'm going to, why don't you repeat after me? Let's call this a benediction, shall we? Mm-hmm. I am at home in the heart of God. I am at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
Let's all stand and sing one more time, Blessed Always, with the wonderful Mary Hyland.
That we